Welcome back to Unfiltered Mumiverse. We're Chris
and Jules. Welcome back to our second season. We are
Yes.
super excited to have you here. We are super excited because this is our second season and it's a special one because we decided to invite guests and to talk more about the topics that we already touched in the first season, right?
Yes. So today we have
a special guest that we're going to introduce to you in a moment. But we want to let you know after the feedback we got from you from our episode of mental health that we want to continue the topic and we want to continue to spread the awareness, right, Christina?
Yes. We want to say thank you for all those likes or reposts or I won't say comments, guys, because we don't really get those. We're still working on that.
We know you're shy.
Yes, it's getting hard. It's I don't know. We just want to. We still think that it's very important. It's important matter, important subject. So we can go. We want to go back there.
Yeah, we want to dive a little bit deeper and bring another person to add from their perspective, and it's very special guest and spreading very special message around. So,
what do you think if we introduce our guest?
We are very delighted to have you here, our special guest, Kendall Concini-Moore. You are a mother and author of the book called Mom's Cloud and a Beach Adventure, as well as a passionate mental health advocate. So very welcome, Kendall. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Could you tell us a little bit more about your project and how did it start?
So it started because I doubted becoming a mother. I have mental health in my background. I had depression at the time. It was generalized anxiety disorder. I sort of always let that stop me. But at the same time, I'm an extrovert. So my husband and I, we were volunteering with Special Olympics. We were fostering children. We were getting involved in as many things as possible. And they all somehow involved kids. And I worked at schools and everything. And through the strength of being with my husband and my core friend team and kind of seeing my strengths through a lot of what we were doing, I decided, let's go for it. And I knew postnatal depression was going to be a big thing because I was already kind of prone to depression. So I started talk therapy, and tried to find a way to really talk through my emotions when they were hitting, figure out how to help myself. And when I had my daughter, all of the depression that I expected happened. And the struggle was, I knew that once we got through her first year, we had wanted multiple kids. I didn't want an only child. We both grew up with siblings. I told my husband we have to go right away, even though that sounds terrifying because we were going through the stress of it. I said, if it ever starts getting easy, I'm not going to be able to go mentally back into this. And so we had our second. And while I was pregnant, I started thinking, I'm going through all the hormones, all the emotions. How do I explain this to my daughter that it's not her? Because she was picking up on language really fast. And it was a lot of, did I do something? And I was like, no, this is really hard to explain. And so I came up with a cloud analogy. And my daughter, she loves the water. She loves everything about the beach. And she knows I'm not the water parent. I don't like getting in the water. It doesn't make me as happy. And so we talked about at bedtime a beach day where a cloud floats in, and that cloud is why mom is sad, and she can't see it, but mom has it, and I'm shaded and I'm sad, and it has nothing to do with her. And so that really stuck with her, and we kept telling the story. It used to rhyme. And so one day I was just going through something else and trying to distract myself. And I said, I'm going to sit down and I'm just going to write this down, and maybe I'll make it a book. Like you can print your own books on Shutterfly or any of those photo print things. And I said, I'm going to make a book. And as I was writing it and as I was looking up ideas and resources and stuff for the back to eventually talk to her about, I realized I had been looking for this and I couldn't find it. And I bet someone else is doing the same kind of Google at 2 a.m. desperation.
Yeah.
And so we decided to publish it and put it out there.
That sounds great. And yeah, very nice initiative, very nice idea to express your feelings as well as explain them to your daughter. But I would like to touch a little bit about something you said, that you kind of prepared yourself before having a child or while being pregnant to the possibility of having postpartum depression. Could you tell us what steps did you take apart of having therapy and what really helped you during the postpartum?
Therapy. It's, I just want like the neon poster behind me that goes off and just says it. I came from a family where therapy just wasn't kind of accepted. It was, no, we're okay, we're family, we love each other. But no, there are things you have to talk through, and sometimes you need that third party voice. My husband is so supportive. I have my best friends who are my chosen family, and they will pick up the phone every time I need them to, and they will listen to everything. But there's something about being able to say it to just a stranger and get it out and have them, once you name something, I found. So I'm not embarrassed by saying I have depression or I have ADHD, because once I can name it, then I can find the tools that are out there to help support me. And I think that was a big part of, I had given my husband, it was in his Christmas stocking. So in the Christmas stocking at the bottom, it was a folded kind of baby stocking and then the pregnancy test strips. And he was looking at me like,
cool.
what? And I was like, I want to start trying. And so when I told him I want to start trying, but there was a Post-it note on the bottom that says like, also, I booked my very first therapy with a new therapist for postpartum depression. And I was like, I'm already all set up, so we can start trying and I can already go. I have my therapy session to go in. I'm just going to go in and tell them I need to talk through all of the what ifs. I need to talk through all of my concerns. And I just need someone to be the voice. And so I had my regular bi-weekly therapy. I also had like a little text therapy app, and then I started support groups. And so I found an online support group that I've been with at this point. My daughter's 4, so I've been with them for 4 years, and that's like every Tuesday. So today I get to go after this, and I know I have those supports in place. So it does remind me that when something comes up, I'm like, it's kind of like, okay, I can get through this, and then I can talk through this on Tuesday. And so that was a really big thing for me. That's where the book came from. I was trying to find books. I was trying to find resources. There are a lot of really great resources out there that help me, and I do post them on my blog, that these were just kind of some websites and some people that I've been following throughout the years to get me through. And just finding other voices out there was important for me.
Very, very great what you said, that talking about it helped you a lot. Because for me personally, when I was going through the postpartum depression, I felt a little bit ashamed to be judged. And once I start talking about it with my therapist or with someone close to me, I felt like this weight was taken off from my shoulders, because it wasn't scary anymore. It wasn't like I was there alone. I found that there's many people going through it. So it's very good that you mentioned that just talking about it or opening up to someone or going to the therapy, it's a huge relief and big help in that situation.
Yeah, but sorry to tell you, like it's amazing. Like it's not normal that someone is that aware of that depression coming, right? Or even when they are in the depression, to accept it. Because as Joel say, like it's like there's still that people feels ashamed to accept it, So that's why we're doing this. That's why, like, personally, I really love the idea of your book, because I think like it's gonna help many other moms in that situation, right? And it's something that it has to be given to our kids as well, as a like for them, as a tool as well for them when they grow up, right? Like they grow up seeing that it's not a big deal. You don't have to hide about it. Like you can talk about it and make it an easy way for them to understand. Like it's really nice.
Exactly. And you guys are like, your podcast is fairly new, and I think that's been one of the interesting things in doing my book journey. I have had the opportunity to connect with a lot of resources, some podcasters, and they're all they are all relatively new. So I feel like we're just getting to the conversation,
It's a
like,
new
hey,
subject. Yeah,
yeah, it's
you're
hard.
touching the
And
subject, right?
it was, I had made friends with my daughter when she was a brand new baby, and that was supposed to be my mom group, but I didn't glow all the time. And the reason I love my cloud analogy is because on the opposite end, everyone loves the silver linings of the clouds. Everyone, I'd be crying and I'd be having a really hard time. They'd be like, but you have a daughter. And I'm like, that is, yeah, I get it. I love her. I
Yeah.
know that deep down. But when the clouds here, you just need to sit in the shade
Yeah.
and say, it's sunny where you are, it's cloudy where
Yeah.
I am, and this feels awful. And like, I understand there's
Yeah.
sunshine over there. The whole point is I can't get to it and I can't see it. And so that is when I am a very open book, and I would like tell people, it's like, I'm just having a really hard time. I didn't bond with my daughter until she was about 6 months because she would not latch. She wouldn't eat for me. She wouldn't soothe. We had to move her constantly because of a hernia, and she needed pressure. So it wasn't that like, oh, warm, cozy, my baby's laying on top of me. It is like, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. And you think you're alone because everyone keeps telling you like, but, and you're like, just listen to what I'm
Yeah.
saying. And then it's hard to kind of have to be that voice sometimes. But I find now there's a lot more voices. You get like Instagram and Threads, and there's a
Yeah.
lot more voices out there to support it.
That's true. It's not very clickable topic, unfortunately, but we love to see that more and more moms or in general people are opening up and saying, hey, I was there as well, or I'm here at this moment and this is helping me, and sharing the experiences. That's very important. And what I love in your book is the message that I kind of get, that it's okay to show up the way you are without the need of fixing yourself to fit in to the sunshine, let's say, to be in that cloud, to go through your emotions. And that's very important message as well for the kids. Like I recently read somewhere that if we tell the kids, oh, stop crying, it's not a big deal, just get over it, go to your room and calm down, we actually teaching them to suppress their emotions instead of teach them how to deal with them in a healthy way. So I want to ask you, how does your book helping kids to go through the difficult emotions?
So the book was written based on sort of what my family and kids have learned to do. And my daughter, she even threw in some lines in there and some scenes, because they know if a cloud comes, mom is just a little different. It doesn't mean good, it doesn't mean bad. It just means mom is showing up a little different. And so in the book, we do that through shading so they can visibly see. But the idea was, what my family does is they never ask me to go home. They never ask me to like leave or go sit in another room by myself. They always let me sit where I need to be in the way I need to be. So in the book, you'll see the family hand me my book to read, and I just go sit on near them on the beach, and they include me in activities. My kids also know, and this is the same at home, when I'm down, like I don't love playing with sand. So in the book, they go build a snowman because they're like, well, mom's not playing. Let's go do what she doesn't like to do anyway, so she's not missing out. And then they build a mermaid tail on my feet so I can lay down but be a part of it with them. And so that's what they've learned at home. Like my daughter knows I don't love playing horsey. So if I just need a minute and I'm sitting, I have a cloud pillow at home so I can show her, like, I just need a minute. If it's here, play by yourself, and then we'll kind of come back together. And so if I have that out, she'll be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go play horsey. Like, and then when I'm fine and I had my rest or anything and I put it away, then we'll do the us activities. So it's sort of learning to just say, I need space. And it doesn't mean it's your fault or you don't have to. One thing is, I never want my kids to feel parentified. And, I had that in my youth. It was mom and dad were fighting and dad's go cheer up your mom. And I'm like, then you're responsible for your parent's feelings. And that's a lot of pressure and weight in the relationship. And so a big part of it is, if I have it, my daughter now, she does, because she has a lot of empathy. She'll come check and ask, do you want to play and stuff. but she's okay if I say no. And I always make sure to tell her, like, it's okay, mom's going to do her thing. You can still have fun. And so she's learned to recognize that in us because we're honest about it. And then she's learned to tell us when she needs that. So we do it by her coming out and saying which version of her she is. And she'll come out and she'll be like, oh, I'm sad Alma right now. And it was like, oh no, sad Alma. Like, how do you want happy Alma back? Is there anything we can do? And sometimes when she can't snap out of it, if she's like angry Alma and driving her brother crazy, we'll joke with her and we're like, can you be doggy Alma? And we have a circle house. So we'll tell her, like, do a lap and see if it helps someone else come out. And sometimes it does. And sometimes she'll still come out the same emotion. But it's just trying to really outwardly talk about what your feeling is in the moment. So we also know who we're dealing with. Because if she comes out and she's sad Alma, then I know, like, it's not worth it to ask her to go pick up toys. Then I'm just going to get angry Alma. And so it's kind of, we overly talk about our feelings in a way, but it is helping us to just know kind of like what battle or what situation we're in that moment, with more transparency to be there for each other.
That's amazing. That's amazing that you're teaching her to identify her feelings and to actually name them, and then you can actually understand them as well. So it's get easier with the time for sure.
So I guess it's because you started with her when she was very small as well. But how is your boy doing? Like, he's still like how old is he? He's 2.
He's 2. We actually have to. She was so far ahead. It's a like fun conversation in our house because when she was 2, she was like at full blown sentences and awareness. We were like in shock and just like yay, but also oh no. So he's 2 and he is like right where he needs to be, and we have to remind ourselves like he's not behind. He's just not as eager to have like full blown conversations as she is. But he kind of recognizes it. He loves his sister, so he'll follow her lead, and I think that helps too. There's that joke like once you have 2, the first one raises the second one. And I'm like, it happens. Yeah. And so he will recognize, and again, I try and balance it with not like her being responsible. So there are the times where I'm like, go get your brother and stuff, but there are the moments where she will just go play and do something, and he'll go with her out of habit and enjoyment. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have to deal with it then. But it's also, I make sure to say it's advice, but it's not like solved. Like, I definitely do enjoy having the language though. Like, her room right now is just my OCD trigger. I walk in her room and I'm like, oh gosh. But I know I've told her, I said, your room can be as messy as you want, but mom's one rule is laundry has to be picked up, because I don't want to sort through the mess to find the laundry. So she knows. So I'll go in her room and she will ask me, and she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, well, if there's laundry, mom's going to get a storm cloud. But if there's not laundry, I'm okay. And so it's that way of telling her, like, if you aren't listening, then this might cause a cloud to come, a storm cloud, and then you're going to have to deal with it. And so it kind of gives me permission too, because you can't keep it together 24/7. And so I'm like, I do have my moments where I'm like, girl, a storm cloud's coming in like a minute. And so then it's like this permission to myself to say like, okay, you could be the messy mom. You told her the emotions coming. Consequences now.
Yeah, that goes as well, like with the awareness or with the accepting that you have depression, right? Like, to accept as well that you cannot be the perfect mom, and we always see, or maybe not that much now, as you say before, now it's people starting to show the reality, let's say, but was everything so sugar-coated, right? We have kids from 2020, okay, and like, it's like, you were at home because of the COVID, you couldn't do many things, so you were on your phone, and everything was nice with those moms doing cookies with the kids, and while the house you could see behind was spotless, or like, there's no stress, everything is happy family, and you are there sitting by yourself, breastfeeding your kid without moving from a place, no meeting, like without meeting people. And it's like, how are they doing it? You know, so you feel you are the only one. Like you feel like you're failing. You don't know how to do it. And it's not true. There's so many other people in the same position, but we are all of us the same. Like, but I'm not gonna say it because I might be the different one. You know, if everyone is saying it, it's everywhere like this. Like, maybe it's me.
I love that your podcast is called Unfiltered, because I feel like people don't give moms permission to be unfiltered. It's like, you know, you're a mom, you have to be filtered. And I'm like, well, no. And so the way we even like talk to our daughter, I think most of our friends and family gets it. It's kind of more of the Montessori, like just explain what you're doing, not as if they're an adult, but not as if they're a small, like, oh, yay, honey, baby talk. And so we've never done baby talk because that reason. We had worked from home before COVID. Then COVID, we worked from home. And when you're sitting there and you only have this small child as your any conversation of the day, I'm like, if I baby talked her, I would go insane. So I just narrate and I talk as I talk. I kind of filter the choice words and stuff. But we would talk to her, and it can kind of be offsetting to some, but at the same time, if you meet our daughter, she's 4 and nobody believes she's 4. She talks like she's like 10. And it's kind of that like, well, yeah, we've always talked to her how you would want a kid to talk, like no baby talk. And so the other day we're at lunch and my husband was kind of in the kitchen getting stuff ready, and my daughter did something and she's like, oh, mom, you're going to be so mad at me. And it was something small. And I was like, no, I'm not mad about that. And then she did something else and she said the same thing. You're going to be so mad at me. And I got like annoyed and I was like, why do you keep saying that? Am I always mad at you? And my husband turns around and he's like, it's a trap. Don't answer that. And so I was trying to think through it. And I sat down with her and I said, why do you think mom is mad at you? And I guess she had like heard me mumbling about something her dad was doing like around in the background. She's like, I don't know, you're like grumpy today or whatever. And so we ended up playing into it. So then to kind of break her out of that concern and worry, we were home. And so we were playing like joking monsters. So every time she did something, I'd be like, oh, ma, and she, and then we would do a joke with it. And so it kind of showed her that like not all grumbling was bad, and we can kind of have fun in the little chaos. And we try and change our language sometimes with her to break her out of this like baby talk, all positivity all the time. And sometimes I do just throw in there like some grumpy things with her, and it's just being open to that kind of language with your kids to know that you don't have to be like cheery mom 100% of the time. And that's not the reality they're going to see out there in the world too. So you need to start to prepare them for what they're going to also get.
That's true. So what can we do, or what needs to happen to be more open about the mental health and the real picture of motherhood? I know social media is a place where people try to put like the pretty pictures and nobody wants to cry to the camera. But I mean, something needs to shift for the young generation to understand that the life is not just the rainbows and sunshine, and that we are okay and we are allowed to have a worse day.
Yeah, I think it's people's comfortability to share that, certainly. But the more people, I love on there are accounts on social media where you do see the pretty picture first, and then you slide and you see the what it took to get this photo, and I love those moments. I also like sharing where I had posted a picture of my kids painting, and my caption was like, if you enjoy this, just know this is like the 5th picture and what it took. And so it's kind of that honesty of people behind it to kind of share those stories and experiences there, and just have a place. And that was my goal when I started my Instagram for the book, was to share like, these are the messy photos. I had to get around it. I took a photo for the back of the book. I think it took us 4 photo shoots to get one picture for the back of the book, and I needed the shiny picture because I'm like, this is going to print. but I did share the other 4 bad photo shoots, and I kind of talked about why it was a miserable experience trying to get all 3 of my family members to look in the same direction, husband included.
It's very
And so it's
difficult.
kind of sharing those experience. And then it's not my idea. It's the Montessori sort of languaging of just using a full sentence to explain what's going on. So if we're saying no to something, just being open to sharing, like, why not, so people aren't wondering, and sharing the story behind some stuff. And I think that's what we do with my daughter. Like, it's not going to help her to just say mom's sad and then never tell her until she's 18 what sadness is. Like, she doesn't know depression yet. She won't say mom has depression. She will say mom has a cloud, but it's starting to give her this language behind mom has a cloud. Okay. And then when mom's upset, she does know angry, but it's mom has a storm. And so it's having her understand heavier things, because that is going to be what kids experience.
That's for sure. Because sometimes it's really hard to explain the kid with the adult's words what you're going through or what you're feeling. So I love the weather analogy in your book, which is way easier for the kids to wrap their head around what is mommy going through or what is happening. So that's really great idea.
And one thing I thought was, I am self-publishing, and I tried the traditional publishing route, and it was, you get excited because I get some kind of like hits on traditional agents, and we have these conversations, but a lot of it was what the market doesn't want right now. And so right now, children's books, it's just, as to quote them, it's happy animals doing nothing. And I'm like, well, that's great. I really want my daughter to read Happy Animals Doing Nothing when we get those books from the library. But at the same time, that's not the entire world. And then we need books to talk about SEL messages, and they are kind of coming out more and more. But the other thing was, my book is from mom's perspective. And that was a really big fight, because they were like, well, kids don't want to read if it's not them as the hero. And they said, but that's also not the world. We can't, I don't want my daughter to think she's like the only center of the world. I think you need more books that are other people's perspectives, and have kids understand that you can read a book about mom and still enjoy it, because that can look like your mom, and you can be like, oh, this is what we go through at home, or this is what it looks like with dad, and different pieces like that. And I kind of have been pushing back and fighting that fight on it, because I'm like, I think it's okay, and I know it because my daughter helped me with the book, that it's okay to see something else outside of what you're experiencing. And I think that is the whole part, is saying, this is not you. You are not causing any sadness. Mom's not enjoying the beach because you guys, it's something else with her. And now you can understand it. And you can also see how you can help. So if anyone's going through anything, then you can know, you can check on them. You can ask them if they need help. And if they say they don't need help, you just let them kind of be there until they're ready. And so that's what the message and the perspective is trying to kind of push back with what the market is ready for. But I feel like everyone needs to be like, someone needs to be the first.
Yeah, no, it's good, because like we have those books for kids, like about emotions, right? You have like the movie, like the Inside Out, something like that is approaching it, right? But then like the idea of having this book, and you as a mom be able to read that book to your kid, to start like engaging, like better than the movies, like, because the movie is like, but when it's something closer to you, right? So I think it's a great first step for this awareness right now around us. But we need more, right? We need more like that.
And I am excited. I'm in Maryland, United States, and I've been working with a lot of mental health agencies to just get feedback and get conversations started, because it's not, my goal is not like, I want to be a bestseller and I want like a ton of money from the book. It's, I just want someone who needs it to have this resource to have the conversation. And so as I've been reaching out to mental health centers, it's about, I told my husband, we're going to lose a ton of money on this book, so I'm going to donate it everywhere. And so I've connected with like the August Rose Health Center, and we were talking about doing workshops together. And the workshop, I've made some worksheets where it's, what does your cloud look like? And it's blank clouds to draw. And I'm hoping to get like little buttons, and people can put whatever their weather is, and then be able to put a button on and show someone I'm having a bad day and I just need space. And I have like cloud keychains and just different ways to talk through flow charts too of, this is what's going on. This is what I'm feeling. Maybe I can't even explain it. It's just something feels off. And this is what I want to do. I just want to sit and read a book. I don't want to fix it. I just want to like veg here, or I want to do something proactive. Here are some tools and resources that I need to connect with. I think that is what needs to be, when books more so have resources in the back of the book. I really enjoy it when you're reading a different topic and you're like, oh, great. And they followed up with resources, because books are like the gateway for kids to get involved and start to see these things and know those characters and be like, oh, yes, this is what they went through.
Yes, that's true. I also love how your book is very unique because it's a book for the kids, but also it can be useful for the first-time moms or second-time moms that they are going through the postpartum depression and they don't know how to express their feeling to the kids. So that's very unique book for everyone, actually.
Yep. I think my tagline or catchphrase is, I'm not the book you're going to buy and put in the Christmas stocking for kids to be like, yeah, a book, but I am the book when the mom calls you at 2 a.m. and you're like, I'm shipping it to you right now. And so that kind of, when you hear a friend, when you hear a loved one and you hear them say like, I can't do this, I'm not a good mom. And you're like, no, I got you. And then that's where I want to kind of pop up and have the videos like this and say, you are still a great mom because you are crying because you care. And my husband has told me that a million times. He's like, if you weren't crying, I would be concerned. And so I think that was part of what I really wanted the book to come through, because so many in my journey, like we've all had such different experiences, and you don't want to invalidate someone. You don't want to say, oh, that's not bad, I went through this. Like it's the worst feeling to anyone going through what they're going through when that cloud rolls in. And so just giving them the space to say like, clouds don't last forever. I'm here. It's, and then my husband's quote that made it in the book is, it's just a part of you, it's not all of you. And so that reminder, like, this is just an experience of a feeling, and that feeling is not all that you are.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's very important.
Plus as well, like a message, like you can always talk about it and ask for help, and like going for a therapy is nothing shameful either. So that's very important to be heard as well. I don't know how it's in the States to get the therapy, but where I am in Germany, it took me a year and a half to get the therapy. So it was really draining on me with all these emotions and what I was going through to actually start talking about it.
It's accessible. I think it's out there. You can easily like get hooked up to it. I know we've had trouble with insurance where it seems like we're all good, and then 6 sessions later something went wrong and we have to stop. And so like right now my husband and I are both on a pause because something happened and we're like waiting on billing. So I think that's kind of the frustration. Like, you can find it anywhere. It's, can you hold on to it for as long as you need to with whatever is going on with all the insurances right now. But there are a lot of really great, like my support group is a free resource. And so that's there for me to connect with. And so there are things you can find, like there's a lot of like meetups. If people don't use Meetup, there are free support groups out there, virtual, and just community centers. I love the library. So the library has really great, they will tell you where to go, and they have different groups and stuff. So I think a lot of it is out there, and it's, again, just comfortability of if people want one-on-one, if they want group settings, if they want face-to-face, or just, there's a lot out there. It just, it takes a while
to find the right one.
I just wanted to mention when we spoke with Christina actually about it, when we went through giving birth, and then we had after 6 weeks, we had the checkup with the gynecologist. Like what we lack it was question, how are you doing? Not just check if everything healing all right, but how are you doing? Do you need any help, or can we refer you to psychologists? So yeah, that's in our experience here in Europe, is like nobody actually asks the mom, how are you coping with being a mom, or do you need help?
We do. When my kids went to you have to do all the pediatrician shots. When you go do the pediatrician shots, they ask like the kid questionnaire, but then mom gets a questionnaire, and it is your postpartum survey. And when I filled it out with my daughter, I was like, yep, all awful. And the doctor did come in, and the problem is like it's the pediatrician, so they see that it's all awful and then they need to refer you out somewhere else. Now she did recommend like depression medication. I am just personally not a medication person because I get every side effect in the book from autoimmune stuff. So but that was as far as it went there, so I knew I had to do it on my own. But they do give surveys kind of linked to the pediatrician stuff, but they can only go as far as they go because they're focused on the kid and they'll refer you out.
Well, it's actually farther than here, right? Yeah, because in here they don't do, like, they don't ask you. They ask you, how are you? You're doing okay? And you just say, yeah, right. And that's it. Yeah, something to need to be improved as well. I wanted to ask you, like, for anyone listening who wants to get your book, can you explain us, like, how?
So it's actually launching in January. So I'm not up on Amazon yet, but I will be. And then at cloudydaychronicles.wordpress.com. Right now we have the pre-order up where you can also do like kind of Kickstarter packages, and you can buy some swag and worksheets and art and cloud memorabilia. So that's on cloudydaychronicles.wordpress.com. And then my Instagram is kind of the big filter where I'm sharing updates and different links and stuff. And that's Cloudy Day Chronicles at Instagram. And so I'm kind of posting out sneak peek videos of the art, some forms if people want to look into different advanced reader stuff, and then just updates of the big launch day.
It's actually finished, or are you still working on it?
It's finished. My illustrator is finalizing all of the like formatting. I'm actually this week buying the ISBNs and UPC codes, and we're kind of stamping them on the back and then uploading it into kind of the self-publishing portal. Apparently takes a few weeks. So that we're planning, and then you have to kind of wait and get proofs and look at it. And that video will definitely be on Instagram. I was like, I'm probably going to be like a sloppy crying happy mess, but it's all finished. I think another important thing, like, and I want to promote because I know she listens to all these. My illustrator is fantastic. She's a freelancing illustrator. I found her. She's like the heart of community of giving advice to authors and just promoting what a collaboration should look like when doing a book. And I try and remember to like be professional with her and not just like geek out every time I talk to her. But she did have some like personal stuff come up, and she needed to take some time off, and she was very worried because she was like, you have deadlines and you're doing podcasts and everyone's asking when. And I'm like, I know, like, you are a human too. And I think not only in that mom holding space world, I'm like, listen, like my whole message is like taking the mental time that you need. And so like this week, I know she's been out, and I'm very happy for her being out. I'm sorry she has to be out, but like when people advocate for, I need to walk away and kind of mentally be there for myself. And so for anyone working with a team of doing self-publishing or freelancing or anything, like hold space for who you're working with and like love them in your little book family, because I want to kind of have that best final version, and that comes with same thing as a mom. Like the mom who walks away for 10 minutes is so much stronger than the mom who sits there for 24/7 dealing with it.
Totally.
Yeah, that's what actually sometimes happens to us when we work on the podcast and we I don't know, one of us has not so great day than the other one taking over, and that's really great to have that support, around you, that you can count on someone. And so you mentioned you have an Instagram and then you have your website. Will there be a possibility to order your book as well in Europe, like order on US Amazon with the shipment to Europe?
I want to say yes because I've seen people do it.
Okay.
And those people are coming over Wednesday to help me check all the boxes when I upload. So they're doing it. And as long as they walk me through it, I should be able to do it. And if I can't do it, I will own I will be able to ship. So the answer is never no. That's why I wanted the website as well. Is worst case, Amazon doesn't do it because Amazon, but I will be able to print copies of the book myself and ship them, which is also what my author friends do. So I have a little great community to teach me all the in and outs too. And why I had to learn to build a website, which is my it's not the best thing, but that is not my background. And I am so proud of it. I'm it has words on it and it doesn't crash.
Yeah, that's the most important. We always learn.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is coming up next for you in the next few months or in 2026?
Well, the book launch is going to be my most exciting thing in January. I am working on book 2. So I don't want to say 2026 because this one took me forever to write. But I am hoping I get to a place where I really am ready to send it to the editor to be give me a vibe check and start working on that. I'm really excited to work with a lot of the mental health agencies to kind of meet with them and put the book out there and kind of have conversations with people and just do different activities. I'm working in Baltimore. We have a merriment maker and she's doing 11,000 acts of kindness in a year. So I've been distracting myself with waiting on book stuff, of going out and doing missions with her of acts of kindness and spreading joy in the world. I've also linked up with Drop Dead Generous on Instagram, and I just kind of got a little prize package funding to go do some kindness for the libraries. So we're really excited about doing those missions. That's what we're planning as well for the holidays. And so just a lot of kind of mental health awareness and going out there. I'm in my do for others adventures era.
That sounds really great, and we definitely look forward to the first book and then to the second and so on.
Yeah.
Yes, I will have to do a small video when it comes out. I'll meet up with you guys and flip through it.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna have those chats with my kids. I'm gonna start to do that. I really like the idea, I should say, to have the cloud, to have them there to show them it's okay, you need time for yourself, you need a second, you'll be back, but you're there, but you're not there. They need to understand that as well, right? Because they're there forever, and then there's some days that you really need a break, and they're even if my husband is at home, if I go into my room and I stay there and they'll come what's happening, I'm let's do this, let's do that, It's okay, I need to get out from the house, but yeah, it's difficult for them. But I think mine, I have 2. I have a girl 3 years old and the boy is 5. It's gonna be 5. And now they can understand those things, right? When do you think is the right age to start? Since you start talking to them, or?
I think so. I think you don't have to shove it at them, but it does come naturally. And I think that's what happened for us is we never baby talked it to our kids. We just said I have a cloud, I need space. And the more we just made it our regular conversation, she just kind of got that, because kids pick up on everything, even when you don't think they do.
Yeah.
They can sense if mom and dad are fighting and we're in a room different and things. And so just telling them yes, you might sense that something is different, and you don't have to do it at an advanced age. A cloud is an easy symbol of, hey, something's going on over here. There's a little storm. You're okay. It's not you, it's the storm cloud. My daughter was able to kind of say she doesn't have a cloud, she has a tornado, and she loves saying it. And we give her space for that too. We tell her, take your tornado, go in your room, thrash on your bed, scream as much as you want, as long as it's like contained over there. We don't tell her to be quiet, to stop yelling, to stop crying. We just say, your tornado goes in your room. So she'll go and she'll like jump on her bed and scream it out. And that is her way of just saying her minute. And so it's just find, where they are. There's always some analogy that is like recognizable to them, something tangible. We have at our home too, if she needs to scream because she's mad about something, we have like a little bear bean bag, and I'm like, you can scream all you want on Scream Bear, and you go there and you can scream. So it's not like all over the house 24/7. It's that kind of contained area. And so I think that's the knowing where your kids are at, also knowing what they love. My kids love the beach. That's why it's at the beach. The joke is my husband hates the ending of the book. Hate's a strong word. My husband really is annoyed with the ending of the book because mom gets in the water. I never get in the water.
Same here.
I did for book promo. Like, he was surprised. I was like, well, I got to promote the book, so I got to go take a picture standing in the water. But when he first read it, he was like, the ending. And I was like, I know. But the thing is, my kids recognize the beach, and I have to meet them where they're at. And that's the beach. And I was like, I wish it was like a cozy cabin book where mom wants to be, but they recognize and understand the beach. So I kind of have to meet them where they're at there and use what they know to talk to them. And so I think that's been one of the questions in the back of the book is, for mom, it's a cloud. What is it for you? Is it another piece of weather? Is it my son does a rock. He likes to sit down and get on the ground. And he's like, I'm a rock. And so his isn't weather, it's something, an object. And so finding like, what would you want to use to talk about your feeling?
Okay, I have a last question from my side. I would like to ask you, for the first time mom or mom who is going through the postpartum depression, what would you say? What would be your advice?
That it is okay to not be okay.
Very good.
We love that sentence.
Two things can be true. You can love that child with all of your heart, and you can also need to walk away from that child. I think there's a quote too. It's my two favorite things are being with my children and being away from my children. And so it's that it's okay to walk away. It's okay to say it's hard. And you can still love that child to death. And need a minute away from them too. And I think moms don't really give themselves permission, even in the moment. Like, I will say, yeah, I know I need to walk away. I'm not going to be able to. And then the second I walk away, I do like check on my phone. And when the grandparents have the kids, I call and check in, and I want pictures and stuff. And I think it's that, that the positivity is there. You also know that you can complain about some things.
True. And I would also add here that ask for help, because in the beginning we are just, no, I can do it by myself. I have to do it because I have to prove myself. And asking for help is a strength, actually.
I really I have the sentence here that you say, like, your plan is to spark a movement that encourages us to talk openly about our cloudy days instead of making excuses or feeling ashamed, right? Do you feel like that movement is actually starting to happen?
For myself, at least. I think it's been, like hearing you read it back to me, it like I can tear up, because when you have clouds, you can't see all that stuff that you do. And so it's been really hard for me to say like, oh my God, I did this. Yesterday we have a festival of trees, and you make trees for charity, and people buy them, and the money goes to charity. And so I made a wreath based on the book. And going to this event has been a family tradition for years. And I love the holidays, but it's always been hard for me because kind of some broken family trauma. And so be able to make a wreath based on a book of flaws but strengths was like this awareness moment of I put my voice out there, and I said that it's hard. I said that I haven't been okay all the time, and I am showing through like art and beauty that that is okay. And so being able to do that, I've been able to text friends and say, "Hey, I know we had plans, but I have a cloud," and they just get it. And they've been able to do the same thing to me because I've put the language out there. Like dropping the book, I kind of kept it a secret for a very long time until I was like ready to go, because what if it failed? And now that's where my message is. Like, I might not sell a copy, but I have it out there. And having people be able to say, you know, my daughter's friends have used it. They've like joked about all of their little tornadoes, and having that at least language in our group has really shown me that I don't have to feel bad for having a cloud. It's not like I don't have to stay home. I can still go to the event and just say like, "Hey, I'm here, a little bit of a cloud, so bear with me," and have that conversation. And the more I do things like this, and you find like you guys wanted me to be on a podcast, and you're just excited because it's like I can have the conversation, and there are people out there that understand it, and there are groups that are supporting it. And whether or not the market thinks like it's not a happy animal doing nothing, but it is real people connecting and kind of growing. And you know, as the Instagram's growing, I'm like, that is like this many people say that it's okay to not be okay. And so I it's already like a success for me, in my bubble. And then every time I meet someone else that like embraces it, it's just this like, yay.
No, I want to say it was the same for us when we started speaking in June about starting the podcast. We said, okay, what is our goal? What we want to achieve with that? And we said, if we can help at least one woman to feel related and less alone, it's a win. And it's amazing we can connect here and talk about it.
Yes, it is. Just wanted to say, like, to close it, like, you should be very proud of what you're doing. Like, it's amazing. Actually, I'm looking forward to have that book in my hands. Okay, I hope it comes to Europe. And we're gonna do like as much as we can to help you as well to spread that word, because we think it's very important, like, to reach our kids now for the next generations to be a bit more aware of what's going on around us, you know. So yeah, we're very happy to have you here. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for the safe space, and everyone who's on, and all the posts you're sharing out. It resonates.
Wow, what an episode. I'm still like going through it because it's a very important topic for both of us, for the three of us actually. We are super excited that we had a chance to talk with Kendall here, and we definitely gonna hear back from her, and we're gonna have her back here.
Yeah, we're very grateful that we had the chance to this conversation, and we hope like this is helping, like, to raise that awareness that we always talk about us, and to give a piece of that to our kids, right, for next generations to grow up healthier.
Yeah.
Talking about mental health.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to get the book and to read it with my daughter, which is she would be like, all the kids, they will be the reviewers of the book, like the best reviewers. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
So take care.
Be kind to yourself.
Till next time. Bye.